Hello, welcome back to the Care and Conversation Studio, live from the Care Show at London. We have our next guest, someone whose name I always pronounce incorrectly. Geraint? No, like pint. Pints like with, yeah.
That's it. Geraint's like a pint.
Geraint's like a pint. Oh, so I was quite close.
You were very,
very close. How are you doing?
Yeah, no, really good. Really good. The show's fantastic this year. Very busy. Lots of people talking and things, and a lot more innovation here. Actually, it's been fun.
You want to tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Geraint Thomas. I run a company called Guided Innovation. We help care companies to digitalise. So we're completely independent, but opinionated. We know the good, the bad, the ugly on the market, what might be value for money, what might be a little bit overpriced. And care companies will bring us in to help them find the right tech, but also implement it. So we're a bunch of project and change managers that know how to implement tech into care.
Yeah, because it can be quite complicated, can't it? For just even quite a simple rotoring system, you're changing quite a lot of how your company works internally, right?
Yeah, look, I'm giving away my age a little bit here, but what social care has a tendency to do when approaching change is, if you think back to the first Indiana Jones movie, where Indiana Jones has this idol he needs to steal, and he's made a bag of sand and he thinks it's around the same weight, and as quickly as possible he switches them positions, and it does set a trap off, unfortunately for him, but that's what social care tends to do. They have a problem and they as quickly as possible replace that spreadsheet with a system, and then they go, phew, done it.
Yeah.
Wow. But the bit they've missed is, well, now you have a shiny new system, which processes can we change?
Yeah.
Which policies can we bin? Can we reimagine any of our operations armed with this new tech? So yeah, that's the hole that we fill.
Yeah, just trying to sort of rush that change, and then when it's not working, getting frustrated with technology rather than
we've evidenced that when a care company spends a large amount of money on a new system and it goes wrong, it burns them, it hurts them. They don't buy a new piece of tech for 2 years later. So yeah, it's a very emotive response when it goes wrong.
So we're going to talk a bit about regulation and a bit about the regulator. So some thoughts and opinions you'd like to share?
York, I don't know if you or any of the listeners and watchers to this are aware, but in England, we used to have a regulator called the CQC. No one's really seen them for a while. We think they might still be out there, but if anyone does see them, please capture them, keep them safe. We'd like to interrogate them and perhaps understand what the hell they're doing. That'd be great.
Yeah, they are here somewhere, I believe.
We'll see. For a bit of fun, ask them deep and meaningful regulatory questions, and they'll often say no comment.
Okay, interesting.
It's fun. So look, England's in an unprecedented position right now with its regulator. I'll quote something that was said to me a couple of months back. So this was a director of quality of a large care operator in England. And she said, Geraint, for the first time in my life, I'm not thinking of the regulator. I've got my levels of quality and assurance that I want from the business. I audit, I inspect, and I hold people accountable to that level. I don't worry about or care what my regulator says or thinks. And that's born from a place where she has lost confidence in the CQC and feels like as long as she follows her morals, her beliefs, it will be safe. It will be all these things that are regulated. But she said to me, she's even considering turning away an inspector if they turn up and asking for proof that the inspector is qualified and skilled enough to come in and do the job, like she would a carer turning up for work. So it's an interesting place to be in.
That would be quite a bold move on their behalf, wouldn't it? But maybe might rustle up some feathers in the right way.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm going to spout a statistic. I don't know if it's true. But my belief is we're talking about something close to 70 or 80% of CQC inspections are being appealed at the moment.
Wow.
All my clients are appealing all inspections at the moment. And I think it's that faith in the inspector. But look, CQC have done something right recently. They've apologized. You know, they ditched the Chloes, brought out the Chloes that we don't call Chloes, and said, look, it's going to be data-led. We're going to create a platform. We're keen on self-audit. where we'll ask you to upload data regularly. That crashed and burned. That failed. The new registrations platform went down with it. If you wanted to set up a new care company, you couldn't for months. And they went quiet on it all, but then they came out on a number of public forums, including the Care Show, and apologized, acknowledged the mistake, and that's wonderful, brilliant. It's about where it goes next.
Yeah. Where does it need to go? Does it need to be dismantled and rebuilt from the scratch?
Love you saying that. I've got two views on this. One, I would ask the UK government to approach the CQC in the same way as they approached NHS England.
Yeah.
I think they need to acknowledge it's not fit for purpose. There's been reports written on that, independent reports, and I would love to see whether you agree with or disagree with some of the things our government has done, they're certainly acting. So what I'd be keen to see is a dismantling of the CQC and a reimagining of it. Which brings me to the second thought I have. This reimagining. You might have heard Professor Green say this because he's certainly shared my opinion on it, and that is the regulation approach that is all stick, all blame, cannot sit in our sector at all. Instead, we are a human-led sector. Humans make mistakes. We must be allowed to take risks. And so what I'd like to see is if you look over the fence to the aviation industry with the black boxes which capture everything that goes on, the regulator approaches it as, so loss of life has occurred on your aeroplane. Fine.
Yeah.
What went wrong? You've got to tell us everything. Here you go, here's everything.
I have a working theory on this.
Go on.
I reckon, so like you apply the same thing to, say, for example, to doctors, surgeries, medical. I think the difference is, if you're a pilot, if you're working on an aeroplane, if it goes wrong, you die as well. If you're a doctor and it goes wrong, you don't die. Because your life is not on the line. I think that's what drives that aviation, the standards in those industries, because like you are on the line. If your aeroplane goes down, like you're in it, right? As the pilot, you're in it. So it really drives that motivation. For,
I can't say you're wrong, but what a pity.
And I think in like the medical profession, but it seems that there's not that level of like, okay, this happened in surgery. What went wrong? Why did it go wrong? That kind of desire to unpack.
But if you're right. But if the regulator really did focus on honesty and transparency, your example, I could pick any 3 GPs in the UK, any 3. It doesn't matter which ones. They could be next door or spread out. If one of them makes a mistake, misdiagnoses, and cause somebody some long-term health defects, if that was transparent and honest and shared, that would stop it happening in the other 2.
Yeah.
It could only be a good thing.
Yeah.
In a way, do I mean this? In a way, the GP should be celebrated. Okay, you made a human error. We're human. You made a mistake. We need to acknowledge that and track it. But thank you. What you've done has made sure we don't do it again.
Yeah.
And I think CARE could do that. Every safeguarding published and supported. The regulator to go, whoops, what help do you need to not do that again? Rather than
suppression, which is punishment suppression.
Absolutely.
Have worked with groups where things have gone wrong, and it's a very much about like let's keep this as quiet as possible, not like how do we assess this stand up, because that was my working theory on it, and I've heard that.
I love that working theory. That's really interesting.
That because you're not gonna. As a doctor or as a carer, you're not necessarily going to be affected.
It's just a sad thing, and therefore we can react in the way we do.
So CQC needs a rethinking. NHS England approach, maybe. Because it's an independent organisation, isn't it? So
yes, it is.
Maybe bring it back in and then say, right, what does it needs to happen?
We've got the care associations that cover all of England geographically. Maybe they could be used as a bit of a regulator, as a supportive. Collaborative, co-productive regulator. Anyway, some are more mature than others. Don't know if that would work, but it's an interesting one. Something, York, I'd love to talk about quickly is Care Inspectorate Wales. Okay. So people might not know this. So this was a good couple of years ago. They had a new head of Care Inspectorate Wales. She did what most kind of CEOs, MDs do, in the first couple of weeks. She shut up and visited. She went all around Wales, all different care verticals, spent time at point of care and with leadership, and just listened and just listened. One of the first things she did, and this is very Welsh, so in Wales we've got a word called cwtch. There's no translation in English.
Yeah.
A cwtch is like a hug, but it's when you squeeze a bit tighter or hold it a bit longer. You definitely do it to a loved one. You'll definitely do it to somebody who's feeling sad. It's more than a hug. It's more than a hug. And,
I'm familiar with the Gavin and Stacey.
There you go.
Yeah, you know, so that's where I get all my Welsh cultural references
we
from.
owe Stacey and her family a lot.
You knows I love the bumper cars.
there we are then. So you know, they did a massive campaign across Wales called Give 'em a Cwtch, because she was really upset by the fact that all care staff said to her, we can't touch the people we care for. We can't touch them. We can't touch them. If I touch them when I'm not moving them or doing any kind of manual handling, I've kind of got to write it up. Why did I put my arm around her? Why did I hold her hands? And she just said, you don't give them a kiss goodnight? Maybe she's had a kiss goodnight every day of her life until her husband died. And things like that. So bus shelters, billboards, give them a cwtch. And it transformed the culture, transformed it. We had carers doing a sleep-in a double bed with someone who just moved in and had never slept on her own before, ever. The carers were doing a sleep-in next to her. And the stories from it were wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So, look, I have hope, I have optimism. I think as a regulators, we could have regulators that cwtch the sector.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I've got an interesting question for you. Toilet rolls, over or under?
Over. It's not a question, sir. It is not a question. Over. Absolutely over. Under is inefficient. You've got to reach further. It could be flat against the wall at the back. I'm unhappy by the question.
Yeah.
Follow-up question.
Yeah.
Do you fold it before wiping, or do you just scrunch it up?
I'll fold it.
I'll fold it.
I'm not a monster.
Research
I need a flat surface.
Research done by a universities have way too much time.
Yeah.
Research was such that men tend to fold, women tend to scrunch.
Okay, I can understand that. You know, we're getting a bit graphic now, aren't we? But you know, we were testing different questions. I asked that to Big Ian, and he lost his mind because his son does it behind, and he said he wants beard, not mullet. Beard, not mullet. So I'm interested to see whether anyone else.
It was oddly passionate, the response, wasn't it?
He was very passionate about it. So you know, exercise some passion. If you were a sandwich, what type of sandwich would you be?
It'd be extravagant. It wouldn't just be a BLT. It would have loads. I'd have coleslaw in there. I'd have all sorts of stuff. I'd try out 2 different butters on 2 different sides of the bread, see how that goes. And I'd toast it.
Bit of spice, bit of mayo, mustard or sweet chili sauce.
A bit of pepper in there.
Yeah.
Paprika could be a curveball.
Yeah.
I've not tried that, but it would fall out when you try and eat it. I'd probably go down your front.
If you mix the paprika in with the coleslaw.
The coleslaw.
Yeah.
That's where my head's at.
Paprika.
Yeah.
Nice.
It'd be something.
Red cabbage in the coleslaw.
Interesting. Yeah, red cap. Yeah, that'd be good. Bit of colour.
Just a bit of colour.
That'd be interesting. Well, you got the tomatoes, haven't you? But yeah, no. I'm just thinking of a sandwich. Thank you.
So fancy BLT.
Yeah, very fancy BLT that kind of goes down you when you eat it, and it's more trouble than it's worth, and you wish you hadn't bought it.
Nice. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks.
It's been great to talk to you.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah, no, enjoy the show.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
We'll be back shortly. Thank you.